Hi, I'm Summer Bach, herbalist, health coach, and fermentationist, and we're going to be talking about the mouth microbiome. So we talk about the gut microbiome a lot. The gut is filled with all these bacteria, these microorganisms, and collectively all of those microorganisms together, including their DNA, is called the microbiome. Well, you have a submicrobiome all throughout your body in different parts. You have a submicrobiome living in your armpits. You have a submicrobiome living in your eyebrow. With some weird little critters actually that live in there. You almost don't want to go look up the magnified pictures of these little critters that live in your eyebrow. It kind of grossed me out. But you have an entire ecosystem in your mouth, and keeping that balanced and keeping the right organisms in there in check is very important to maintaining good oral health. This is how you keep from getting cavities, and also this is the beginning, the very, very, very beginning of your digestive tract. So having the right microorganisms in there as well is going to help you digest your food better. This is why. Because when you digest your food, as your food passes through every single organ of your digestive system, it is exposed to different enzymes. And enzymes are active in different enzymes are active in different pHs. So the pH of your mouth should actually be slightly alkaline, and that does a few things. One, it keeps the salivary amylase, which is a starch digesting enzyme. It keeps it functioning at its optimal ability. Also, when your mouth is more alkaline, it's going to protect your teeth. It's going to protect them from getting worn away by acids. That's what's going to wear away bones and minerals and things. So the more alkaline that you can keep your mouth, the better, right? Or more like neutral, not fully alkaline, but more neutral. And then also having this just slightly alkaline mouth will help the right organisms to grow. So this is big, right? This is really big. If you get the wrong organisms growing at a lower pH, what they do is they produce more acids as they are hanging out eating all of the slime that's living on your teeth. And then they digest it, they produce more acids, it wears down your teeth, breaks them down, makes them more susceptible to cavities, and makes it more possible for cavity-forming bacteria to live there. So we're going to go deep into this. This is just a topic that I'm really passionate about because a lot of people with digestive issues actually struggle with mouth microbiome imbalance. It's the very beginning. It's the first place to start. And so one of the big questions I get from people is, first off, how do you check your pH of your mouth? And secondly, how do you shift it? So I cover this a lot in gut rebuilding. If you're interested in learning more there, we go deep in how to shift the pH of not just your mouth, but your entire digestive system. But first and foremost, you will do a salivary test for pH, where you spit on a pH strip and see what your pH is of your saliva. That's the first step. However, you have to make sure that you do this 2 hours away from food. You also need to make sure you haven't put on chapstick or drink any water or anything. 2 hours, check it, see what it is. And it really needs to be at least, you really want it to be at least 7. That's ideal, 7 to 7.2, something like that. So with the pH of the mouth also, let's say you got a reading and it's 6.5. So it's actually slightly acidic at that point. This is not good. It's not good for digestion. It's not good for your bacteria in your mouth. And what you need to do to shift that is a few things. It's a little bit deeper level. You have to work on getting more minerals in your system. You have to get your buffering system up and working better, which is fueled by minerals. So this means eating more nutrient-dense food, but it also means strengthening the digestion so that you can pull out the minerals from the food, because that's big. Without the right digestion, without the right digestive capabilities, you're not going to be able to even digest minerals, no matter how many you bring into your body. So also you have to work on reducing acid-forming habits and acid-forming, lifestyle components as well as foods in your diet. So that means pulling out things that are very acidic. And when I say acidic, I don't mean just pulling out lemon juice or something like that. I mean things that have an acidic effect on the body. So when you are digesting your food, there are foods like alcohol is a good example. Coffee is actually another good example. They are very acidic on the body. They make your body produce a bunch of metabolic waste. And in order to digest them, you have to use up a lot of minerals. So when I look at somebody's saliva and I see like their pH of their saliva is fairly low and it's more acidic, a lot of times we know they haven't quite been doing the work that they need to around food. They haven't been eating an alkaline enough diet. They haven't been living a lifestyle that's causing them to be more alkaline. This involves stress management, exercise, things like this, being positive. Literally being stressed out, being negative, that is extremely acidifying on the body. It makes you produce certain neurotransmitters that put your body into a different state. It's more of the fight or flight state. And when you're in that state, you produce more metabolic waste, more acidic byproducts. And so over time, that will deplete you of your minerals that you desperately need to keep your pH balanced in places like your saliva. So, people talk about pH a lot in terms of, like pH is this thing that, it cannot be easily manipulated. People talk about, well, your blood is always going to maintain the proper pH. Your blood could never change its pH. And that's true. The blood needs to stay somewhere between like 7.38 to 7.42. It's a very tiny range because there's enzymes in the blood that allow your heart to keep beating. These enzymes are crucial to you being alive. Your body will do whatever it can to maintain that pH. So it's going to pull minerals from your bones. It's going to pull minerals out of your buffering system. It's going to pull minerals out of your saliva, like out of everywhere from your body before it starts pulling them out of the blood, because without that, you would die immediately. So your body has prioritized this essentially. So we can use the saliva pH to determine where you're at in your overall health. It's like a very sweet window, into discovering how healthy you are and what kinds of work you need to do to help get your mouth functioning better so that you can digest your food and start working on rebuilding your gut. So I hope you enjoy this. I really want you to go check your pH, go see what your pH of your saliva is, and make sure you get the right pH strips for that. I sell them at shopgutsandglory.com, so you can pick some up there. And that would be your very first step to see if this is an issue for you. All right, thanks. This is Summer Bach, signing out.